This is Daily Armenia, ＳիվիլNeթ's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. The fact of the 1915 Armenian Genocide is undisputable, Armenia's Prime Minister Nikol Pashniyan said at a press conference today. This comes after the statements he made at a meeting with the Swiss Armenian community last week caused public outrage both in Armenia and the diaspora, with many finding the remarks unacceptable or even denialist. During that meeting, Pashniyan said the following: "How come there were no discussions about the Armenian Genocide in 1939, but then those appeared in 1950? How did this happen?" Adding that Armenians need to find out what happened and why. Referring to the controversy today, Pashniyan elaborated, "How can someone who literally uses the word genocide be accused of genocide denial?" He clarified that what he said in Switzerland was that the topic of the Armenian Genocide should become a tool for self-reflection in a broader sense. Pashniyan also commented on the so-called Zangezur corridor transport route that is supposed to connect mainland Azerbaijan with its Nakhichevan exclave. He explained that Armenia is ready to construct a railway link through its southern Sunnik region for freight, ensuring that the trains will be able to pass through. He acknowledged that the November 2020 trilateral declaration indeed mentioned the principle of unhindered communication between Azerbaijan and Nakhichevan, but emphasized that unhindered does not imply the absence of border controls. This stands in contrast to Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev's demands, which seek to bypass Armenian sovereignty by imposing a corridor-like arrangement that would effectively sever Armenia's direct connection with Iran and strip it of control over the area. Pashniyan also revealed that the two non-agreed provisions in the normalization deal with Azerbaijan are the non-deployment of third country forces along the border and the mutual retraction of legal claims from international courts. While Armenia is open to withdrawing the European Union's observers from the delimited border sections, as the delimitation process goes forward, it is reluctant to withdraw from lawsuits, as it is concerned that Baku may use these disagreements to shift the issue to the bilateral level and exploit them as excuses for a new escalation. This is why Armenia wants to ensure that neither country has lingering disputes that could be manipulated to justify further tensions, Pashniyan explained. In addition to these two disagreements, Azerbaijan has made several more demands toward Armenia, including the opening of the aforementioned Zangezur corridor, amendments to Armenia's constitution, and a mutual application to disband the OSCE Minsk Group, a Council of Europe's mechanism set up in the 1990s to resolve the Karabakh conflict. Pashniyan reiterated that Baku's Western Azerbaijan rhetoric is unacceptable and is a direct threat to Armenia's territorial integrity. If we agree to dissolve the Minsk Group, we need to make sure that Azerbaijan's intention is not to get rid of this conflict management mechanism simply in order to start a new war, as now it is forming territorial claims to Armenia, he said. Baku refers to various parts of Armenia's internationally recognized territory as Western Azerbaijan, and has escalated this rhetoric in recent years. Azerbaijani media and TV programs have increasingly promoted claims that all or most of Armenia is historically Azerbaijani land, and that ethnic Azerbaijanis were forcibly displaced in the 1990s. President Ilham Aliyev has repeatedly stated that Armenia must create conditions for their resettlement, further fueling tensions between the two nations. The Prime Ministers of Armenia and Georgia reaffirmed the two countries' strategic partnership as they held a meeting in Yerevan yesterday, where they also discussed regional peace initiatives, economic collaboration, and Armenia's interest in joining the Black Sea electric cable project. Our brotherly countries' cooperative and warm relationship is anchored in concrete and solid realities. Armenia and Georgia respect each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, Armenia's Prime Minister Pashniyan said during a joint press conference with his Georgian counterpart, Irakli Kobahidze. The meeting covered a wide range of cooperation areas, including economy, transport, energy, tourism, and science. Pashniyan briefed Kobahidze on the developments in Armenia-Azerbaijan normalization, emphasizing that Armenia has presented specific proposals on all issues of mutual concern and awaits Azerbaijan's response. The Armenian Prime Minister also mentioned Armenia's Crossroads of Peace project that aims to unblock all regional transport links, stressing that it will benefit Georgia's interests as well as Armenia's. He expressed interest in joining the Black Sea submarine electric cable project, which is expected to connect the electric power systems of Georgia and Europe. The world is full of challenges. Taking them into account is extremely important, and further emphasizes the importance of close cooperation. Together we can take care of issues related to the protection of our common national interests, Kobahidze said. The current Georgian government, controlled by the Georgian Dream Party, led by oligarch Bidzina Ivanishvili, who made his fortune in Russia, is under heavy international pressure due to democratic backsliding and pro-Russian policies. Due to blockades by Turkey and Azerbaijan, Georgia is extremely important to Armenia as its primary outlet to the world, with 70% of cargo to Armenia coming through from its northern neighbor. You can also watch the latest episode of our weekly Insights program, which covers the situation with Armenian hostages in Azerbaijani custody. Host Eric Hakopian also speaks about the first ever threat assessment report compiled by Armenia's Foreign Intelligence Service. Additionally, he touches upon the latest fertility rate data released by Armenia's National Statistical Committee, offering a glimpse into the country's demographic challenges. Follow the link in the description to watch the full episode. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 19. This is because athletes from 19 countries will arrive in Armenia's town of Chermok for the second edition of the Pan-Armenian Winter Games, set to kick off tomorrow. The first Winter Games took place in the country's ski resort of Zangezur in 2014. This year's event will feature ice hockey, cross-country and alpine skiing, snowboarding, chess, and even Japanese snowball fighting. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.